Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it may be when you guys are tuning in. Please forgive me for my tardiness, but this is Educated and Empowered. Hey guys, this is your girl Tennille. I am coming live in an entirely new segment entitled Educated and Empowered. And I know that this is going to be a great show. One of the reasons why I know that it is going to be a great show is because I left literally over 2 hours ago to pick my daughter up from school. Normally, it takes me all of maybe 20 minutes to pick her up, 25, 30 minutes to get back. But apparently, there was something going on the expressway. Illinois State Trooper had been shot. So the expressway was absolutely horrific. And I'm like, really? Really? So, like, all of this preparation just to be late, but that's okay because I know that you guys are going to come in. And when you come in, please, please, please feel free to say hello. Let me know that you're watching. Let me know where you are watching from. And so, again, I am totally excited. I've been talking to you guys all day about this show. I've been talking to you guys, matter of fact, for a couple weeks, building it up, letting you know that I am so excited. So what I want to do first of all is I kind of want to just give a little bit of a background about this show and how it came to be, right? So what happened was I was going through different things and preparing my website, which by the way, many of you have now had the opportunity to see. And so I have my new website. My name is Tennille.com, just in case you all have not had an opportunity to check it out. And so when I was preparing it, I don't know how, but somehow I came up on this thing, Educated and Empowered. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but that is the shirt, Educated and Empowered. There's no reason not to know, right? And so when I was coming up with this, I said, well, there are some different things that I want to talk about. And I don't want to always do it on the same day as APS because typically APS is all literary stuff, right? So I want to have another day where I could talk about a variety of topics. And so one of the topics that I wanted to talk about was parenting, right? So every Friday, I will be talking to you. I'll be coming live to you guys. Some weeks I'll have guests like today. Some weeks I won't. Hey, Miss Beatrice. But every week I'll be talking about something different. So on Fridays, first Fridays, we will be talking about parenting, right? Then the second Friday will be doing relationships. Third Fridays will be current events. Fourth Fridays will be mental health issues. And then if there happens to be a fifth Friday in the month, like there is this month, we will be talking about politics. And so today I could not think of a better way to start it off. I've been kind of teasing you guys with who my first special guest would be. And I just could not think of a better guest to have. We're talking about parenting. And for those of you who know me, you know that this is the Jackson family birthday season, right? So October, November, December, and January, those are all of my girls' birthdays. And so I said, why not have on none other than my baby, Miss Jariah? So, hello, ma'am. How are you?
Good.
You're good.
Mhm.
So for many of you, you guys don't really get a chance to see Jariah a lot. You hear me talk more so about Autumn, right?
Mhm.
Because Autumn is the author. And then on the show, I did bring on Ariana and Angel because they had their surgeries from scoliosis. But very rarely do you get to see, we call her here, we call her the boss baby. Hey, Miss Luvanta, you guys, as you all are coming come in, please do me a favor and hit the share button. Tag somebody that you believe would benefit from this broadcast. And so, in either case, when I was talking about doing this show, my first thought, I'm like, I want my girls to kind of like come on, right? And so I asked Jariah, I was like, would you come on mommy's show? Because normally, again, you guys don't see Jariah. And you said what?
No.
And then after you said I don't know, you came back and said what?
Yeah.
She said yeah. So I was so happy. So matter of fact, while we're talking about birthday season, Beatrice, next Friday. What's
My
next Friday?
birthday.
And what is so special about this birthday, Jariah?
I'm gonna be a teenager.
She will officially be a teenager, guys. That's right. My baby. This is the last one. She's about to be a teenager, officially 13 years old. And so I wanted her, hey, Mama Joyce. So I wanted her to come on and I wanted her to talk about some issues when we're talking about parenting. If you guys saw the caption, we said that we're going to be talking about various aspects of parenting, right? And so I wanted to bring Jariah on specifically because about to be a teenager, we live in Chicago. And so many of you know that Chicago is not necessarily the safest place. I mean, it's statistically speaking, it's not the most dangerous place to live, but it's not the safest place in the world either. And so Jariah has, even though she's only about to be 13, she has lived through what she knows what life is like pre-COVID, so pre-pandemic versus post-COVID, and even going through times like that, right? And so I know, right, Mama? She is. So what Mama Joyce is talking about, I asked them to guess who my first guest would be, and one of the guests was Tyler Perry. And so she's saying that you're even better, having you on is even better than having Tyler Perry. So I totally agree. So I want to talk to Jariah about like what it looked like from her perspective in the pandemic with her as well as her friends. That's the first thing I'm going to talk about, and then we'll transition into the next thing. So Jariah, with you, are you going to be embarrassed if I call your nickname?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I normally call her Punky, y'all, and in fact, today I probably have called her Jariah more than I normally call her in a week because why don't you like me to call you Jariah? What do you say when I call you Jariah?
You only call me that when you're mad at me.
So she does not like when I call her Jariah. She's like, no, you call me Punky. What did I do? All right, so Punky, so with being in school, so you were in were you fifth grade when you guys went on?
Yeah.
Okay. So kind of tell the viewers, what did it look like from your perspective being in school every day, everything was fine one minute, and then the next minute they're telling you guys not to come back to school. Like, what did that look like, not just to you, but even to some of your friends? What did that feel like and look like?
Like for us, it was
You gotta look at the
different.
camera.
For us, it was different because we were, like used to seeing each other every day and stuff. And then like first we thought it was just gonna be 2 weeks off, but then they just said we're not going back, so it was like really different for us.
And so when you were home, tell the viewers like what was some of the differences for you being at home, because initially you were happy, it's like, yes, we ain't got to go back to school no more, but then things kind of changed. What changed and why?
I miss seeing my friends, and like it was easier for me to learn at school because when I'm on the computers, I was falling asleep and I wasn't like paying attention like as much as I would have in school, like real school.
Okay. And so, like, from your perspective, do you think that the needs that you had for me as being your mom, do you think that that changed because of whether you're talking about with school or just the pandemic? Do you feel like those needs changed at all, or do you feel like it was pretty much the same?
Um, like it was pretty much the same to me, I think, like,
Because,
because like you said, like did it change like for me?
Yeah, like in terms of your needing me, do you feel like that the things that you needed from me, from your dad, do you think that any of those things changed? Did it look different because of us being within a pandemic, or because of you having to learn remotely? Like, did any of that look different pre-pandemic versus post-pandemic, or even during the pandemic?
No, it was pretty much the same. Like I actually needed less because normally in school I would need more school supplies and all that. But since we were just at home, I really didn't need a lot.
Okay. So what about like with your friends? Do you feel that any of your friends suffered because of the pandemic?
Yeah, one of my friends lost her uncle during the pandemic, and it was hard for us to like stay in contact because like we could only be on the phone, so like we was losing touch for like, me and my friends, so it was a little hard.
Okay. And so like, but even with you, you suffered a loss.
Yeah.
So do you want to kind of talk about what that looked like, suffering that loss? Was it, well, first of all, say who it was, and then how that loss made you feel.
I lost my granddad, and it was really hard because I don't think that he got the funeral he deserved. Because I mean, you just saw him and then you left, so I think he deserved better. But I mean, it was still good because at least I got to see him one
Mhm.
more time before, So
And so, and this is what's crazy, like 2 years early, no, the year before. So, April of 2020, they called her dad's father was big granddaddy, and my dad was little granddaddy. And so, my dad died in 2019.
mhm.
And then, so little granddaddy died in 2019, and then big granddaddy died in 2020. Like, did the fact that they died close together, did that impact you at all? Or like, how did you feel after losing them, and then one during COVID and one before COVID? Did COVID affect anything for you in terms of the feelings that you had in the loss?
um, like COVID, it really didn't like. But when I lost Big Granddaddy, it was like it reminded me of Little Granddaddy. So I was like, now I don't have no more grandparents. So I was like, dang, and it was really hard.
Yeah. And so for those of you who are just tuning in, what we're kind of doing, what we're doing, not counting, but what we're doing right now, this series is called Educated and Empowered, right? And so this is the parenting edition. And so I want to start off by bringing one of my girls to the camera. This is my youngest daughter, because these are some conversations that parents don't always have with their children, right? Like a lot of times we typically will just assume that kids, okay, well, they're resilient or they'll just get over it. And because of that, we don't take the time to ask them, how are you being affected by this, that, or third? You know, like parents, we know that we had to make a huge adjustment because now the expectation was for us to be your teachers, right? So we had to be there to log in with you, make sure you logged in, make sure you're doing your homework. And so a lot of the parents were going through, but I don't know that we really took the time to come and talk to our children and see the effects they had on them. And then, like I was saying, for those of you who kind of know me personally, when she was talking about losing both of her grandfathers, like they had already kind of been born in an unfortunate set of circumstances, in that they didn't have either of their grandmothers. So all they really knew were their grandfathers. And so, again, they lost them 2019, 2020. And then, so you're having to deal with death. Then you're having to deal with this pandemic. Then you're having to deal with, not having your friends around. Like, how was that making you feel inside? Like, do you feel as though you ever got to a place of being depressed or extremely sad? Or do you feel like you were able to bounce back throughout your obstacles?
Yeah, like in the beginning of COVID, it was hard because my father had COVID, so like I was that really scared me. And then like a couple of months after that, my granddaddy died. So like I cried a lot like during the pandemic, but it's like I was never depressed. I barely know what depressed is. I was never depressed. I was never like super sad, but I was like I was hurt during the pandemic more.
Yeah, because I remember like when your dad got COVID, and I kind of told you girls what was going on, and that I had to, I wanted for you all to be isolated so that I could take care of him. Do you remember what you guys' first response was?
Mm-mm.
Like you all were really kind of nervous because you were like,
Oh
we
yeah,
don't want you to get it too,
yeah,
mama. So how you gonna take care of daddy and without you getting sick? And I told you what, like we just gonna believe God,
yeah,
because for me, we not claiming that over in these parts. Okay, we got too many folks that we gotta take care of, and thanks be to God, mommy never got it. But like you said, your dad had it in March, and then the month after your granddad had it, and then unfortunately he passed away. But and then in the midst of all of that, school was steadily changing, right?
yeah.
And so one of the questions that I put on there is, and I'm talking about with the caption, is just saying like the differences that it is to parent children now versus when mommy was coming up. And do not try to take me there because I ain't that much older than you. Yeah, keep all them looks because it's not that long ago. Okay, it's not that long ago. But what do you think is one of the main things that children or teenagers need from their parents now that maybe the parents don't think that they need?
I think you said like teenagers.
Yeah, well, kids, period, like
Okay.
people your age, your friends, like, what do you feel that you guys may need that maybe your parents don't think that you need?
We need like sometimes. Hmm. It's hard to answer because I'm on the spot, but like,
It's okay. Just take
we
your
need
time.
like I would say like sometimes like you come in there and talk to us, come in the room, talk to us, see how we doing because sometimes we probably hide our feelings. But you gotta come in there and talk to us sometimes and make sure we're doing okay mentally and physically. I think that's how you say
Okay. Well, for those of you who are just tuning in, again, this is my all new segment, Educated and Empowered. And I am joined my very special guest who is typically booked and busy. She's like, Mommy, how long do I need to be on your show? I'm like, what you got to do? But this is my baby girl. This is my punky Jariah. She will be 13 next week. And I asked her just to come on and kind of like talk a little bit so that the audience could get an understanding, really insight into the looks of a teenager, a younger person who has been affected by COVID, by the pandemic, all these different things. And you said that, okay, sometimes we might need you guys to come in and check on us. One of the things that you said that you appreciated that I did was when I restored that bedtime. Because once upon a time, remember when there was no school, so you were staying up till 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I didn't know about 3 o'clock, but yeah. And so when I told you, okay, hey, Miss Rochelle, when I told you, okay, we got to get bedtime back in place. First thing you was like, what? Give me the face.
Mm-mm.
Why we gotta have a bedtime, mommy? I'm in seventh grade now. Why do I need a bedtime? And then after a while, what did you kind of change into?
I just started going to bed, right?
And it was I feel a little bit more rested in the morning now. So kind
Mm,
of thank you for that whole bedtime thing. And I think a lot of times with parents, it's hard to find that balance because on the one hand, like, and your children don't always know that you're not trying to do things to make their lives like a living hell, literally, right? Like you're not living to make them miserable, but at the same point, you have to do what you feel is best. And there is no manual for this thing, right? There is nothing that says, okay, well, if you follow this set of rules, this is how they will turn out. You can follow this exact set of rules and then they turn out something completely different. Do you have any friends that maybe have been raised exactly like you have, but maybe they don't have the best grades, or they don't, like, are they different than you, or are all of your friends like exactly kind of like how you are?
No, they not like me. Well, like one of my friends, I don't think I should say her name,
No,
but
don't, you ain't gotta say that.
okay. So one of my friends, she's got strict parents, and she's been brought up like very well, but it's just like she can't get her work done. She can't focus. Like she gotta talk. It's like she can't do it. I don't know. Like it's harder for her. She can do it, but it's harder for her, even though she had like the right upcoming and stuff.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Since you talked about her having strict parents, would you say that your parents are strict?
Mm, y'all not strict, but y'all got some rules. That's
What's, if you could change any one rule that,
bedtime, bedtime.
what's so horrible about the bedtime?
Cause like I be in the middle of a really really good show, my favorite part finna come up, and then be like, time to go to bed, time to go to bed, turn off the lights, turn off the TVs, everybody go to bed, and I'm like, really?
Okay. Okay, but look, in all fairness, most of these shows are on Netflix,
Yeah,
right? So that means that you could watch Netflix,
but it's not the same. Cause
but
you'll be like in the zone, like you be like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? And then time to go to bed, everybody go to bed, and then you don't even want to watch it no more.
I can't stand my children, y'all. Look, let me tell you something. I am the same way now. Actually, they get a much more lenient me because I was way more strict raising the older generation. Y'all know me. I always talk about the older, and we had two generations of kids that I had to raise. And so the first generation didn't get it as easy as they have. Mama Joy says some children are only children with no siblings. Mama Joyce wants to know, did you get closer with your sisters during the pandemic, or after Big Granddaddy died? Did you and your sister get closer?
Uh, yeah, me and my sisters, yeah, we always been close, but like during the pandemic, we seen each other every day. So like, yeah, we definitely got closer, and we really really got closer after Granddaddy passed.
What's some of the things, because again, you just said that you and your sisters have always been close, and
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the things that I think I've always hammered home. I always say, like, I don't care who else it is, you love your sister,
Mm-hmm.
like you should always be there for your sister, because at the end of the day, if you ain't got nobody else, you always have your sisters. And so, like, what do you think is one of the, what how did you all get closer? Like, what was one of the things that brought you all closer together?
I mean, like we're all girls, so like we all always we can talk about basically everything because we go through basically the same thing, and plus we all kind of around that same age range, a little bit, and like I've always lived with my sisters. I see them every single day. So like yeah, I'm always gonna be close with them.
Yeah, so she's the baby about to be 13, then Angel's 15, Ariana is 16, Autumn is 18. So, and you are always messing with Autumn, because what do you always say? Even though she's 18, what do you
She
always
be
say?
acting like a kid.
And what do you tell Autumn to do?
She needs to stop doing it. Like grow up, please. No
Boss
offense,
baby.
Adam. No offense.
Boss baby is telling the 18-year-old, she needs to grow up.
It's,
And this is all the time, y'all. This is all the time how they are with each other. Like, Autumn is all, and again, it's so crazy because those of you who don't really know Autumn, you all look at her and you always think that she's really serious, just like you look at me and think that I'm always really serious. But honestly, I think out of all four girls, Autumn is probably the next to, let me see, because you're silly, but I think Autumn is probably the next in line for being silly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Autumn is very playful. Let me see.
Yeah, I think she first.
You think she first? So they all are their own personalities. Like Angel's defensively the drama queen, and then you're second in line to that. Yeah, you next to Angel. Well, how would you describe? Let's do that really quickly. Mama Joy said that you are so blessed. You have a great support system with your mom and dad and your sisters. So let's go through that really quickly. If you could only use one or two words to describe each sister, let's start. Autumn. How would you describe Autumn?
Uh, Playful. That's it. One or two. One or two.
Yeah, if you want to do more, go ahead.
Uh, Playful, and then she can be like your mama too. Like she got both.
She's the mother hen. She is definitely the mother hen. Like whenever I'm not around, I'm okay with that because I know that if I send them with Autumn, it's just like if it's the exact same as if they were with me, and sometimes it's worse because
Yes.
say why it's worse.
Because she like on our case 24/7. We can't go nowhere without like it's
And then what happened is if they don't act right, then they can always come home and tell us. And so Autumn is just that upstanding sister where she gonna report it. So you better act right.
yeah.
Now with Ariana, what's the word or two that you use to describe Ariana?
Like she can be bipolar. She can. That's my sister.
Shariah.
She can be bipolar a little bit.
Okay, you gotta explain that.
Because one minute Ari she'll be all mad at you, and then she'll just start laughing out of nowhere. And then she'll be happy, and then you'll say one thing to her, and she'll get mad at you. I don't like that.
So she's a little extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, Rochelle, these the mother hens, I'm telling you, they help. Now, what about Angel?
Angel is very dramatic, and yeah, that's the only thing I can think of her.
Out of all of the sisters, is there one that you think that you get along with more or better than the others?
Probably Ari,
The one that you say is very extreme. Why?
because like Ari, I always go to Ari when they be picking on me because they like to pick on me. So I always go to Ari and she be helping me and she let me stay in her room and stuff and watch TV. So she calmed me down.
So here's a backstory to that as well. Ariana has always, they are six, what is that? What are you? They're 4 years apart. She and Ariana are 4 years apart. But Ariana has always been more of a mothering type to Drea. Like she's always kind of babied her and let her get her way. And that's the reason because Drea is very spoiled
Mm-hmm.
and she knows it.
Mhm,
So that's
mhm.
nothing new. So I'm just about done. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your time. I know you clocking me right now. You clocking me, okay?
Mhm.
But you see right there, that's like 28 minutes. I still got a minute and a half of your time, okay? You told me 30 minutes. Y'all see, I have to barter with my own children that I gave life to. But okay, how do you find school now? Because you went from remote learning and then you actually were one of the students who opted to go back when you could. So you started, was it February or April last year to be able to go back to school. And now everybody is back in. So which one do you prefer? Like what do you look
I
at?
definitely prefer how it is now because when it was just we was still like we still had to use computers. It wasn't nothing different for real. It wasn't people coming. It was just me by myself. I did not like that. But now like we don't gotta use computers no more. We writing on paper, and then I get to see all my friends, and it's like the work is easier now because I get to do it in person.
So for you, do you feel like that this is how things were like before COVID? Is it exactly like how it was, or do you feel like that it'll never be the way it was before COVID?
I think I think it's exactly like how it was to me. The only thing is we wearing masks, so like that's the only thing that's different. Everything else is the same.
Okay. Well, if you have one set of remarks or encouraging words or something that you want to leave the audience with, because I'm about to let you go ahead and go. So you can't just say bye. But if it was one something that you want to let people know, whether it's let people know about you or let people know in general, what would that be?
Um, I would say I honestly don't know. Like, no matter what your situation is, it'll get better. And trust in God, and you'll make it.
You're done. Go ahead. Thank you. Uh-oh. So we wanna thank Jariah, y'all. So y'all will be seeing me post next Friday. It's her birthday, so she will officially be a teenager. She'll be 13 years old on next Friday. But I just want to come and again, I want to show you guys really quickly if you guys want these shirts, and I got all types of stuff in the background. Don't she left a jacket? Okay, but okay, so this is educated and empowered. There's no reason not to know. So if you guys would like your own t-shirts, you can go to the website. And matter of fact, let me start putting the websites and stuff up here. But you guys can go because again, as you know, I did do a whole new thing. I got, let me see. So if you want to know more about me, the girls, all of that information is on my new website, which is my name is Tanil.com. If you would like to get your own educated and empowered t-shirt, and they come in other colors, it's not just the purple. For those of you who know me, purple is my favorite color. So that was one of the reasons why I had to get it in purple. But yeah, so you guys can please visit the website. My name is Tanil.com. And I just, before I end this show, I wanted to just kind of talk to you guys a little bit. And so I will say this. For those of you who had the opportunity, like Mama Joyce did, to go to the website, feel free to give me your feedback. Feel free to let me know what you think about it. But I will say this, it was really a lot more difficult for me to design this website than I thought that it would be. I have been working on this website. If I can just let y'all in on secret, I've been working on this website for about 5 months. Normally, it takes me about a week or two to design a website, right? Because it's really just about the type of time that I have on my hands, but it's just really easy to kind of flow through, go through, flow through, do what I have to do. Like I've been designing websites for probably about 10 years now. So I can probably do it in my sleep. But with this one, it was so difficult. It's much more difficult than I thought because um I learned myself. I learned a lot about myself in designing this website. I think a lot of times we may not even ask ourselves, who are we, or how do you want other people to see you? I think many times in my life it has been a reactive situation where people come into my life and they kind of decide who I am based off of what they see, right? So, like, if you come to my church, then okay, I'm first lady, or I'm evangelist, or you see me directing a choir. So, you automatically get your own impressions there, right? Or, you might see me with the Green Party doing some things, or you see me out doing community. So, people automatically, based on how they see you, people automatically think that they know you. They think that they know what it is. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mama. Hey, Pastor Sandy. But people think that they know you based upon the season of your life that they enter into, right? And so it was like when I first started doing the website, and I will say this, I think within 4 or 5 months, I even experienced an evolution because who I thought that I was, or who I thought I wanted people to see me as, or who maybe even I thought that people saw me as, that shifted, that totally changed over the course of designing this website. Just like a quick behind the scenes, like initially I was doing like woman of God, woman in business, woman of power. It was going to be like 3 tabs, boom, boom, boom. And then I was going to sub tab everything else. And it wasn't that I'm not a woman of God. I think anybody that knows me would get that. It wasn't that I'm, it's not that I'm not a woman in business or not, a woman of power, but it's like that just wasn't it. That just wasn't. Hey, Allison, thank you. Um, it definitely was growth. And I think that when you reflect, like as I was putting it up, and again, if you guys have not gone, go to the website. My name is Tennille.com. Just even in picking the name of it, it was a statement, because it was, how do I want to introduce myself, and they have a statement that where they say, put some respect on my name, and it's like, I want for people to know that's my name. My name is Tennille. So you can call me all of these other things. And a lot of times I'll laugh and I'll say, as long as you call me a child of God, I don't care what you call me. But that's my name, know who I am. And when I was putting these things together, it really was a journey for me, because there was so many things. When you guys go on there, you'll see so many different pictures, right? So like just when you land on the web page, seeing that banner of all of the different titles, if you will, that I go by. Yes, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I don't know if I should say I am a daughter. I was a daughter because my parents are no longer here, but I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, I'm a sister, and then you have all of the hats, the author, the entrepreneur, the activist, the this, the that, the third. And so um it was something just in terms of me thinking of myself. Who am I? What do I do? And then going through, and that's just like a fraction. The pictures that's on there, that's a fraction of the pictures that I've collected just within the last 10 years of my literary journey, and it was something. There were times where I had to stop in creating a website. Again, for those of you who are authors, it was so likened unto writing your memoir. When certain things just got too heavy, when I would pull certain pictures and it would remind me of certain things. So, I would relive that moment in that time. And I had to step away from the website. I gotta wait a minute. I can't go. Give me a second if I come back to this, and even in how I thought about myself, I'm like, no, let's be specific with what it is that I do. Because again, many people may not know me as an author, but that will change, because when you go to that website, like the whole freaking tab, boom, author, and then you can do the drop down and tell you I write children's books and relationship books and inspirational books and self-help books, right? And so you can learn those different things about me. And I think the other thing that I really like about this website is the fact that it is personal. Mama said that you got a chance to really feel as though you knew me. And all the websites I've designed over the years, most of them were for APS, or something like that. I've done I'm Glad to Be a Woman. So if you ladies are part of I'm Glad to Be a Woman, I'm glad to be a woman.com or .org, I own both of them. You can go there, you can see that. Typically it's spoken in the third person, right? And that's typically been purposeful, and I'll say purposefully done, because I want for it to be portrayed as a business situation. But when you have a site that's called My Name is Tennille, it just felt like you needed to, like you were coming into my house. So it just felt like I'm saying, have a seat. Like, and the fact that you're coming to see me, that means that you're interested in who I am, right? So you didn't go to weareaps.com. You didn't go to I'm glad to be a woman.com. You came to my personal house, and I wanted to be able to share with you all some things that maybe you didn't know. Maybe you don't hear me talk about when I'm being the international award-winning author, literary extraordinaire, awe-inspiring coach, right? Maybe you knew I was born April 12th, 1980. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you knew that I had a biological sister. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you knew I got married when I was 21. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you knew I had 4 biological kids and a whole lot of others. Maybe you didn't. But once you visit that website, You don't just learn about all of these accolades, right? Even though there's a whole tab just for the accolades. So it's a little bit of something for everybody, depending on how you want to know me, right? So those of you who just want to know how in the world do I think that I got the gall to do this, that, and the third, because she got a couple degrees. She's been doing some things for a long time. She's been recognized by a lot of different people, and so these are things that on my own, I very rarely just share this type of stuff. I have a girlfriend. I'm just about done, y'all. I have a girlfriend who she's that chick, okay? Like she is really very self-confident. She knows that she's good, and she always talks about having these receipts, right? And when I was going through all of these pictures and all this, I'm like, I got all of the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like all of the things that people tell you that it takes. And the reason also I'm sharing this is because going to Allison's point of reflection equals growth. I have not always been a very confident person. For years and years and years and years and years, I lacked self-esteem. Not it was low. I lacked self-esteem, and then it was like I began to grow in certain areas, and I would be around certain people who couldn't handle my growth, and so they made me feel bad. But again, Eleanor Roosevelt says that nobody can make you feel inferior without your permission. But because I was not where I needed to be, then when people would give little snide remarks or say things, then it made me feel as though I needed to dumb down, dumb me down, how you said that I had to be less of who I was so that I wouldn't offend somebody else. Like, very rarely did I talk about the experiences that I had, the days that I had, the people that I had met, because the people at that point who were around me couldn't handle it. And I was not trying to offend anybody else. But I will tell you what, I will definitely say, at least in the last 3 years, and definitively in this last year and a half, I have had this journey of knowing myself, right? And knowing that I love me and I'm comfortable with who I am. And so it's like, if you come into my life and you have a problem with who I am, it's a personal problem. That's your problem. That's a you problem, not a me problem, right? Like, I'm no longer doing this whole thing of shrinking down, of not being who I know that I am, just because it makes you uncomfortable. And why am I sharing this? Hey, Miss Tanya, I'm sharing this because this segment is called Educated and Empowered. And so these were things that I learned along the way, right? These were such valuable lessons that I don't know that you can put a price tag on them. When you learn your worth, then you don't allow anybody to make you feel like you're less than that, right? Because here's the other thing to that, is that if there are people who are in your circle that's making you feel less than that, or they're putting out that energy where it makes you feel as though you have to shrink, you may want to change your circle. So y'all, this is October 1st. Y'all know, anybody that's been following me for half a second know, every so often, every so often, I give y'all that reminder about checking your circle. Make sure you ain't got no leeches in there. Make sure you ain't got no, deadbeats in there. Make sure you ain't got no folks that's jealous of you. Make sure you ain't got folks that's praying on you instead of praying for you. Like, so this is October 1st. So just take this as starting the month off to go back and check your circle. We back in the day, you had spring cleaning, fall cleaning. Let this be your fall cleaning. Go check your closets, check your friends, check all of them. Come on, Lonnie. Hey, you make the people come on, make the people like that. You have to be able to come up with folks. You have to be able to have them rise with you, or they rise with you, or you rise with them. If you don't have folks that's in your life that's going to help you to become better, they don't need to be in your life. So if you don't take away any tips from me today, and I think that that's probably what I'm gonna start doing. This was just totally like out of I didn't plan it, but I think that on Educated and Empower, I will leave you guys with a tip of the day. So If you can't be who you are, if the people that's in your life, if they are not making you better, if they are not adding value to you, and not only are they not adding value, but they are detracting from you, then they don't need to be there. Luvanta says that she definitely been checking. Girl, you have to. You got to check your circle and move people in and out accordingly, right? So just real quick, you have to be able, because sometimes you trying to move people in, but folks that shouldn't be there is taking up space. So sometimes you got to move stuff out. It's just like when you have a house and you got all of this furniture in here, you can't always put the new furniture in with the old furniture. You got to make a decision because you only got this much room. So which furniture do you really want? Do you want the furniture that's done been there all the time? Yeah, you done had it for 10 years and a whole lot of people that sat on the couch. But if it's not serving a purpose anymore, and if all it's doing is taking up space, then sometimes you got to be whole enough to say, you know what? I'm going to miss the physical presence, but I always have the memories of the good times. Now I need to get rid of the old couch and bring in the new couch. You understand what I'm saying? Because now the new couch is going to serve me better. Now, you know, that old couch was breaking down, or at the very least, every time I sat on it, I was scratching up myself or whatever. Hey, Miss Portia. And that's how you have to look at people in your life. Like a lot of times we like to collect people like we collect things. And a lot of us are hoarders. We don't want to let people go. We feel like, okay, well, if I was your friend in third grade when I was 9, then when I'm 99, we still supposed to be friends. The fact is that that is wonderful if you can find a true friendship like that, but it's very more the exception than the rule. Many times in life, you will learn that people are here for seasons and reasons. Very few times in life is everybody here for a lifetime, right? And it hurts when the people that you want to be here for a lifetime actually are only here for a season, and not because something went wrong, right? Don't have to be that y'all fell out. It could just be that you realize that now, as Lonnie just said, I've grown and matured, or you've grown and matured, or we've both grown and matured. And in our growth and maturity, it has led us into different paths, right? So, in me growing, I learned who I was. And in learning who I was, that meant that I had to follow the call that's on my life, which is taking me to this direction. And the call that's on your life is taking you to that direction. And I found that those people, we will forever be friends, right? Like it's just the fact that our lives don't allow us to be able to overlap. Rochelle says, put the friends in different categories. Girl, you got to. Lonnie says, letting people go is good for both parties. Yes, you can be a help or a hindrance. That is so true. And it's like you have some people, they don't want you to let them go because they realize your worth when you didn't. Can I say that again? You sitting over here thinking that you ain't nothing, thinking you worthless, thinking you ain't no good because you lack self-esteem, but all the while they able to see your value. They know that you something special. They know that you somebody. They know what you bring to the table. But here's the thing, you got some people who will pour into you because they want you to open your own eyes. They want you to see the value that you have, the value that you possess, because they're like, once you open your eyes, I know it can't help but to elevate you once you know how valuable you are, right? But then you got some other people that's like, oh, Lord, please don't let her open her eyes. Please don't let her open her eyes. Because if she opens her eyes and see how valuable she is, then she gonna know she don't need to be hanging around somebody like me. Because to go to Lonnie's point, some people are hindrances, right? Because they not going nowhere. They ain't trying for you to go nowhere. And as long as you don't realize your worth, they know that they got you and you ain't going to go nowhere. But as soon as you realize who you are, that's really how you know a true friend, right? When me being your friend means that I might have to let you go, but the letting you go is for your good. So I'm more concerned about your best interest than just that you get to hang in my circle. You see what I'm saying? Like I appreciate, and I've had friends that have done this for me, and I've had friends where I had to do it for them, where you have to let them go, because as long as we're staying together, you're not going and growing to the level you're supposed to be on. Me, you staying here is your comfort zone. You can't grow and be comfortable at the same time. Stretching hurts, okay? When you being stretched and pulled to that next level, it don't always feel good. But if you really trying to grow in purpose and do what it is that God is desiring of you, you ain't gonna be able to be in your comfort zone. You can't reside in a comfort zone, because God ain't gonna use you when you comfortable. You understand? Like, you might get to one level where you comfortable, and once he, okay, you good now. All right, it's time to go to the next place. Absolutely, discernment is key, Beatrice. And and for me, that's really, again, going back, y'all. That's really what this whole website design has been, and this is one of the reasons why I want to share with you. And I'll put it back up there again. Y'all write it down. When you get an opportunity, visit it, check it out. My name is Tennille.com. One thing, only way you can get to that website is if you spell my name right. So there are so many people who could say my name right, but could never spell my name right, because it ain't spelled nothing like it sounds. I get it, but just because it don't spell like it ain't spelled the way it sounds, don't give you the right to change the way that you pronounce my name. Like, I understand it's the O in there, but my name is not Toenail. You understand what I'm saying? My name is not Toenail. My name is not Tonal. It's nothing with a long O. It's Tennille. So in order for you to get to the website, you gotta learn how to pronounce my name. At the very least, you gotta learn how to spell it. But it really was a journey to do this, and I learned a lot about myself. By the time I got done, I was so, like, I promise you, it felt like finishing up a book, right? And again, for all of my authors out there, or even entrepreneurs, like when you first started your business, and you got all of this paperwork, and maybe you're not a paperwork person, but you got to go through the paperwork in order to get to the next level, and you finally get it done. You're like, whew, Jesus. Like, I just know that it's gonna be so much better from here, right? So in either case, guys, this was the first segment of Educated and Empowered. Please know that every matter of fact, hold on, I had another banner. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me see. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So I want you guys to tune in. I am officially, it is October, new month. And those of you who saw my message, hashtag month of manifestation. I'm not going to take a whole long time going into that, but please know, those of you, I said it in my women's group earlier this morning, those of you who are bold enough to believe it, October is the month of manifestation. So believing God for whatever it is that He has promised you. Believe God. The Bible says, according to your faith, be it unto you. So you ain't got to go and ask your friend if you should believe, if they believe, what do they think? According to your faith, be it unto you. And I've already began to write out some things that I am asking God to do, not just on a little level, but also on a grandiose level, because I just believe that there's nothing that's too hard for Him. The other thing that I dropped was that the prayer that you guys should be praying, I don't care what else you praying for, whoever else you praying for. Lord, I want what you want for my life. I want what you want for my life, because so many times we get in trouble because we ain't even checking with God to make sure the things that we asking for is things that we should even want. Like, is this in your will? Is this going to take me off my course for purpose? Is this more so a distraction? Is it like, we just see a lot of times we want them for the wrong reasons. We see that other people have this, that, or third. So now I want it because somebody else got it. Now, if they got a car, I want a car. That might not be His will for your life. That might not be what God wants for you. So we have to ask God to give us to want what He wants for our life. But Starting Monday, guys, we're gonna have a full week. The only day that I will be off is on Wednesdays, right? Because I gotta tend to some personal stuff. So, and obviously the weekends. But on Mondays, these are my live at five lineups. So you have APS Day. So those of you like Rochelle who have been following me forever, forever. You know, aspects of entrepreneurship that has been around probably for about 4 or 5 years. That show ain't going nowhere. So Mondays will be APS days. We will either be talking about writing or editing or publishing or marketing. Some aspect of entrepreneurship is what we will discuss on APS day. On Tuesday and Thursday is inspirational talk with Tennille. So I am revamping that show. We just have two separate focuses, right? So on Tuesday is I'm glad to be a woman, which if you hear from the name, that means that my guests will be women, right? So it doesn't matter black women, white women, red, blue, or green. Women will be my guests on Tuesday shows, and then on Thursday shows it is creating powerful black men or CPBM, and those will be, you guessed it, black men will be my guests. Lonnie, I'm probably gonna be reaching out to you, sir, to see if I can get you on the show at some point November, December. Okay, and then Fridays we have educated and empowered. So I know it's a lot, but all I'm asking you guys to do, you ain't gotta memorize it. You ain't gotta memorize it at all. All I need for you guys to do is just tune in. Live at 5, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I will be live. Some days I have guests, some days I may not, but you have to tune in. So thank you guys so much. Girl, Beatrice, we not finna go there. We ain't finna go there because the folks that know. But the folks that don't know, child, you will be surprised at how they messed that up, right? Because they messed it up something good. So in either case, y'all, I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in to the show. And you've been seeing the ticker along the bottom. If you guys enjoy what you heard, you want to be a blessing, feel free to do so. You can go to Cash App and hit your girl up, $ My name is Tennille, and I will be right there. So you like, wait, don't you got $ APS International? I do, but that's for APS. Don't you have $ I'm glad to be a woman? I do, but that's for I'm glad to be a woman. On these days, on Fridays, when we're doing Educated and Empowered, this is about me, the message I'm bringing to you. So that Cash App is $ My name is Tennille. And this is the final thing. I don't know whether you guys are watching from my regular page, so my profile page, my fan page, or guess what, guys? I'm also live streaming on YouTube. So I've been able to figure this out when all this time I've been down, because I'm just now coming back after what's been almost 7 months. March was the last month that I was live consistently. I kind of jumped in there for a minute for May because of Stroke Awareness Month. But I've been learning some things behind the scenes, and we just want to make it a little bit better for you guys. So again, if you're on Facebook, you can stream this from either my profile page or my fan page. If you're on YouTube, I would love to know if you guys are watching on YouTube, because we are streaming live on YouTube as well. I have two different YouTube pages. This is the last thing I would say. Hey, Freddie. Two different YouTube pages. One is my name, Tennille M. Jackson. So you can go on that page, subscribe there. And then we have APS International. So on APS Day, we will be streaming live from APS International if you happen to be on YouTube. And then all the other days, we'll be streaming from my Tennille M. Jackson page. So however you want to connect and watch me, feel free to do so. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank y'all for tagging folks, especially my MVP, Mr. Freddie Robinson. Thank you so much for sharing. Everybody hit that share button. If you like what you've heard, hit the share button and do as Freddie has done and tag somebody that you believe would benefit from this broadcast. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, you all stay inspired.